This is Menkari Australia. Breaking news.
This is Menkari News Australia. We've got breaking news from Canberra this morning. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese just announced a landmark deal on Australia's environmental laws. After 5 years of negotiations, the reforms are passing Parliament today. This is the biggest overhaul of environmental protection in a generation, and it's going to change how Australia approves everything from housing developments to renewable energy projects. Here's what's happening. According to the Prime Minister, the Environment Protection Reform Bill is amending the EPBC Act. That's the law that's governed environmental approvals for 25 years.
When we came to government, we promised we would reform Australia's broken environmental laws. Today, we deliver that promise. These sensible, responsible and balanced laws are good for business and good for the environment. Today, I can announce our government's landmark environmental law reforms will pass the Parliament today, heralding a new era for the environment and productivity in Australia. We have consulted extensively with the business community, with environmental groups and with community organisations. More than 5 years after Professor Graeme Samuel handed down his independent review into the nation's 25-year-old environmental laws that were widely acknowledged as not being fit for purpose, the government's Environment Protection Reform Bill will be passed by the Senate today.
The reforms do three major things. First, Australia's getting a National Environment Protection Agency. That's a new independent regulator focused on enforcement and compliance. Second, national environmental standards are being established, clear guidelines for protecting the environment. Third, approval times are dropping dramatically. The government says they'll go from years to months and months to weeks. Minister Murray Watt has been leading negotiations with business groups, environmental organizations, and crossbench senators. The deal includes input from Green Senators Larissa Waters and Sarah Hanson-Young. To put this in perspective, these laws have been broken for a long time. In 2020, Professor Graeme Samuel delivered an independent review that basically said the EPBC Act wasn't fit for purpose. Everyone knew it. Business leaders said approvals took too long, environmentalists said protections were too weak. The Albanese government promised reform when they took office in 2022, but getting everyone to agree, that's taken years. Here's what changed to get the deal done. The government is removing exemptions for high-risk land clearing and regional forest agreements. Those industries now have to follow the same environmental standards as everyone else. But to balance that, there's a $300 million forestry growth fund being announced today. The PM says it's about backing forestry and timber workers while modernizing the industry toward plantation timber. The bill also keeps the water trigger for coal and gas projects. That means federal approval is still required when water resources like the Murray-Darling Basin could be affected. One more thing. Large emitting projects will now have to disclose their greenhouse gas emissions and reduction plans. That's a first. So what does this actually mean? For housing, renewable energy, and critical minerals projects, faster approvals could mean faster construction. That's huge for housing supply and the clean energy transition. For the environment, higher penalties for breaches, stronger enforcement, and new stop work orders in urgent situations. Prime Minister Albanese called it a landmark day for the environment and a good day for business by providing more certainty. Environmental groups have been cautiously supportive. Business leaders are relieved the unacceptable impact clause got clarified. That was their main concern about giving regulators too much discretion. Not everyone's happy. Some industry groups wanted even weaker protections, some environmental advocates wanted stronger ones. But the fact that both sides negotiated in good faith, that's rare in Australian politics right now. The Senate is voting on this today. Once it passes, the National Environment Protection Agency will need to be established, and the new standards will need to be written. Implementation will take time, probably months before the new system is fully operational. But after 5 years of review, consultation, and negotiation, Australia finally has environmental laws designed for the challenges we're actually facing: climate change, housing shortages, and the need to protect what's left of our natural environment. We'll keep tracking this story as the new agency takes shape and the first projects move through the reformed system. I'm Michelle Botta from Inchari News Australia. Stay informed.
You've been listening to Flashwire, powered by redmancari.com, where facts still matter and stories still mean something. If you believe in independent journalism with impact, hit subscribe and share this episode. Your support keeps truth alive.
Breaking. Verified. Australian. When the story breaks, we don't wait. We verify, explain, and bring you the facts straight from the source.
Now, Optus has clearly failed here. Optus have failed to put safety first.
Company Optus and its parent company Singtel offer commercial
Discussions based as friends and trusting. And part of our discussions, informally as well as
the whole
formally,
world came
has
together,
been
to be honest. So many countries that you wouldn't have even thought of it, and they came together. The world has come together.
Now, we do need to draw a line in the sand when it comes to the protests that we continue to see in this country.
The Flashwire is your rapid response breaking news podcast, a stripped down, adrenaline-paced bulletin that drops minutes after major stories break. It's designed for listeners who want accuracy and speed, not noise. Think of it as the audio equivalent of a newsroom's red alert light turning on. Each episode runs under 5 minutes, short enough to drop between scrolls, but packed with verified updates, eyewitness info, expert sound bites, and a forward look at what happens next. No spin. No filler. Just what you need to know and what comes next.